Hello and Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Mooc BSR360 Practical Training, Module number 2, Scopes of Services in Practical Training under the topic 2.2, Public and Private Sectors. And this topic will be delivered by myself, Surveyor Technologist Muhammad Karul Amri bin Ramli, and I hope this will be a beneficial sharing to all of you. Before we start, let's first understand what is a building surveyor and where can we function, be it in a public sector or in a private sector. Let's enjoy the video.
I'm often asked, what is a building surveyor and where can those skills take you in terms of a future career? Well, I've got two examples for you. The first came from a friend ringing me who had suffered a major fire damage to her property. The reason why she was ringing me was for help and support, deciding whether it was still safe and habitable to live within and how post-fire it could be reinstated. The second comes from one of our alumni. Rita won the Vice-Chancellor's Award in 2017 because of her work within international development, working on climate change, sustainability and working specifically in war zones. Reinstating property, built environment, project management, design are all part of the core skills of being a building surveyor and can take you both anywhere nationally or internationally.
Within this particular topic, by the end of this particular MOOC, you'll be able to, number one, explore and understand what is the building surveying scope of works. Number two, define the role of a building surveyor within the public or in the private sectors. Number three, to be able to understand the internship application procedures that is required for you to go for your practical training process. Have you ever wondered why do you need to actually go for your practical training? Within the practical training, you'll be able to have better and more dynamic learning opportunities by working in a dynamic working environment. Be it in both private or public sector, during your practical training, you will definitely encounter these opportunities. On top of that, you'll be able to explore and experience real and meaningful projects in compared to during your study days where most of it are on theoretical base. By going towards this real and meaningful project experience, it is believed that you'll be able to develop multidisciplinary skill sets, not just your technical but also your soft skill in providing you better career opportunities in future. On top of that, you'll be able to explore and experience real and meaningful projects in compared to during your study days where most of it are on theoretical base. By going towards this real and meaningful project experience, it is believed that you'll be able to develop multidisciplinary skill sets, not just your technical but also your soft skill in providing you better career opportunities in future. On top of that, it is a very good opportunity where if you practice and showed your diligent work skill that you have developed during your study years, you will have a better and higher chance to be recruited in the future because you have go through a critical and meaningful experiential training process. Please ask yourself this particular question. Why is it important to know the building surveyor scope of work or training? A building surveyor provides specialized service on matters related to building and property development. A competent building surveyor is expected to manage, organize, supervise, monitor, evaluate and coordinate with the relevant project stakeholders on every aspect of building and development work. It is so important and critical to understand this particular scope of training because it will help you to build the right and true building surveying professional skill set, develop the correct and accurate career path, better guided path to professional certification, for example, towards surveyorship under RISM or professional technologists under Malaysian Board of Technology. And most importantly, to prevent malpractices whenever that you are practicing in your later career works and career days. Before we move forward, let's recap and understand further the 5 core competencies of a building surveyor. Number 1, building control administration. Number 2, maintenance of building. Number 3, building works. Number 4, development and construction management. And the last, insurance assessment. Now, let's go into the main and the most important part of this particular MOOC. Where the services of building surveyor can fit in inside the public sector. Within the public sector, the 5 core competencies that are relevant are mainly under the building control administration, maintenance of building, building works, and development and construction management. But where does it apply? Let's say, for example, building control administration, the main function relies on the opportunities under the purview of local municipalities or Majlis Perbandaran. This is where the main function of a local municipality is where controlling development from the surrounding area comes into picture. Managing compliance, regulations that from drawings or project proponents submitted towards until the project delivery to ensure that the project then be constructed within the municipality's area of power is being governed and follow the required standards and practices. Under the scope of maintenance of building, the main opportunity relies under the JKR. And for your information, there are 2 types of JKR. One at the federal level and one at the state level. Both JKR mainly look into maintenance of building and also infrastructure work within the surrounding areas. If this is something that is within your interest, you should look into the JKR opportunities. Next, under the building works. Most of building works involve both either JKR, municipalities such as Majlis Perbandaran, and more interestingly, opportunities also rely under universities establishment, or the most interesting part, looking at the heritage management of government buildings within Jabatan Warisan Negara, or the relevant local municipalities such as DBKL and Majlis Bandaraya Melaka, where heritage building are one of the main critical components within their work purview. Now, let's move into the services of a building surveyor within the private sector area. I believe within the private sector, practical trainers like yourself would have the best opportunity and learning experience to gain further. Under the purview of maintenance of building, as a building surveyor, you are mainly involved in advising the client on the management and supervision of the facility management inside that particular building and the maintenance activities involved on it. You can explore various companies available within the private sectors that involve with maintenance building work, such as CBRE, Sodexo, PMC Facilities and Real Estate, IS, Compass Group, AWC Berhad, GFM Services, and many more. Next, under the purview of building works scope of work, there are many companies in the private sector that are suitable in providing the specific work and experiential learning for you. You could consider joining contractors of different classes that is being graded by CIDB, such as G7 until G1 contractors, Under the same scope of work, you could also consider joining companies or consultants that involve with built heritage management and building conservation. Mainly, the work will involve coordination of restoration, refurbishment and conservation of historical importance heritage projects. Various companies available within the private sector such as Badan Warisan Malaysia or Badan Warisan Heritage Services as its consultancy partners, Structural Repair Sdn Bhd, Urbanisma or other consultant professional conservators that are available in the market. Next, let's move into development and construction management scope of work. Option for you to consider towards your practical training. Last, let's look into insurance assessment scope of work. As a building surveyor, you will be involved in looking at evaluating building performance and understanding and determining the condition of an existing building, which include work such as identifying and analyzing building defects. On top of that, evaluating various proposals on repair and loss claims, adjusters and underwriting for insurance companies are part of the main scope of work under this purview. Interestingly, under this particular scope of work, you are able to determine whether you want to play your role from the client point of view or from the takaful or insurance company point of view. As such, you can consider interning at either a property developers or project management consultancies or insurance takaful operators such as AIA Public Takaful, Great Easterns, Etika, and many more. I hope with a brief explanation from earlier slides, by now you will be able to have a general idea on where will you conduct your practical training, be it in a private or public sector. Now, let's look into the internship application procedures for UiTM students. First, students need to identify potential organization companies through their own desktop study, be it within the government or the private sectors, as I have mentioned previously. Next, students need to extend their interest through formal email or cold calls for the internship opportunities within the said organization. Number 3, please understand the internship application procedures of each respective organization that you are applying for. Each companies or organization may have different sets of procedures that applicants need to abide. After you have thoroughly understand the organization internship procedures, please prepare and submit formal application by the form of letters prepared by the students directly to the organizations that you're interested to interning with. Once you have sent a formal letter applying for internship opportunities, please identify person in charge of the said organization for follow-up processes to confirm your internship application acceptance or declination by the said organization. Once you have confirmed the internship acceptance by the said organization, please inform and notify your university internship coordinator for the next processes. In the case that your application was declined, please repeat step number 1 until number 6 until you have found a suitable organization or companies that will accept your internship application. I hope by now you have understand in detail the necessary information and procedures that you need to do prior towards your internship application process. Now, let's recap on what we have understand so far. I hope by now you have understand in detail the necessary information and procedures that you need to do prior towards your internship application process. Now, let's recap on what we have understand so far. Please use this link or the QR code provided and conduct the assessment and activity as requested. I hope this was a fun and engaging activity for you. Will you be able to beat this score? If yes, congratulations. If otherwise, you can try again after the Mooc has ended. Now, let's reaffirm further your understanding on this particular topic through this particular assessment. Please scan the QR code or use the link provided to enter into the assessment. We have finally reached to the end of our Mooc. Before we conclude our session, let's recap and further understand and try to imagine your day in the life as a building surveyor during your practical training. I hope this particular Mooc has provided you with the necessary information and understanding for you to make a better decision on whether you want to conduct your practical training, be it in a public sector or in a private sector.
Persatuan Juru Ukur Bangunan Berdaftar Malaysia (RBS) dan Pertubuhan Juru Ukur Diraja Malaysia (RISM) (DARA) menilai semula status fizikal setiap bangunan di negara ini. Timbalan Perdana Menteri Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi berkata, ia bagi mengelak kejadian kebakaran di bangunan asrama Pusat Tahfiz Darul Quran Ittifaqiyah di Jalan Keramat Ujong pada bulan lalu berulang. Tegasnya pemantauan dan penilaian keselamatan perlu dilakukan secara berterusan oleh RBS dan RISM bagi mengelak kejadian tidak diingini berlaku, terutama yang melibatkan nyawa.
Saya ingin merujuk pada kejadian kebakaran di bangunan asrama Pusat Tahfiz Darul Quran Ittifaqiyah di Jalan Keramat Ujong pada bulan lalu. Dan saya sendiri telah menjadi pengurus jawatan kuasa kabinet untuk meneliti serta menjelaskan tentang piawaian terhadap mahatahfiz, sekolah-sekolah agama, rumah orang-orang tua, rumah anak-anak yatim dan pondok-pondok pengajian yang sering mengalami kebakaran.
Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid berucap pada majlis penyerahan rumah baru mangsa kebakaran di Kampung Batu 9, Hutan Melintang, Perak. Pada majlis tersebut, 11 keluarga menerima rumah baharu sumbangan unit penyelarasan pelaksanaan Persatuan Juru Ukur Bangunan Berdaftar Malaysia (RBS) dan Pertubuhan Juru...
Last but not least, I wish you all the best on your practical training, and always remember that every single experiential learning through activities and tasks that being assigned is an added value to yourself. So, be a sponge and absorb as much as possible. Good luck and have a nice day. Thank you very much for listening to this particular Mooc.